Imagine a tiny town covered in dust. It's so quiet that nothing fun ever seems to happen. The sun is going down, turning the sky a pretty orange color. In this little town, there's a small church with a few steps out front. And there's Father Daniel. He's a priest who doesn't talk much. He's sweeping those steps with a broom, moving slow and steady. He's got a kind smile on his face, the kind that makes you feel safe. His hair is gray, sticking out a little from under his black priest collar. His hands. They're rough and tough looking, not soft like you'd expect. They look like they've done more than just hold prayer books or shake hands. Everyone in this sleepy town knows Father Daniel. He's the guy who helps old ladies walk across the street when their legs get wobbly. He's the one who puts out food for stray cats that wander by, meowing for a snack. People see him and think, oh, that's just Father Daniel. He's nice and quiet. But here's a secret: they don't know everything about him. Not even close. There's something big hiding behind that gentle smile. Something nobody expects. Not yet, anyway. Now, before we jump into the story, I've got a little job for you. Where are you watching from today? Tell me in the comments below, I'd love to know. Maybe you're in a big city, or maybe you're in a small town like this one. And hey, if you like stories where the little guy turns out to be super cool, smash that subscribe button right now. It's free, and it helps me keep telling you fun tales like this. Oh, and here's a question to think about: have you ever met someone who looked totally normal, like super boring, but then surprised you with something amazing? Maybe they were secretly awesome and you didn't even know it. Drop your answer in the comments, too. Let's see what you think, because this story is all about that kind of surprise. Ready? Let's go. Okay, back to our town. Everything's calm and peaceful until it's not. Picture this: a rumbling sound starts far away. It's low at first, like a growl from a grumpy dog. But it gets louder. And louder. Pretty soon, you can feel it in your chest: boom, boom, boom. What is it? It's a gang of bikers rolling into town. Their motorcycles roar like wild animals, shaking the ground. Dust flies everywhere as they speed down the street. These guys are big. They're loud. They're covered head to toe in black leather jackets and pants. Tattoos peek out from their sleeves: snakes, skulls, and all kinds of spooky stuff. They look tough, like they're ready to cause trouble. The leader of this gang is a guy named Spike. He's the biggest and loudest of them all. His hair is spiky and black, and he's got a mean grin on his face. He rides his shiny bike right up to the church and stops. His eyes land on Father Daniel, who's still sweeping those steps, minding his own business. Spike's grin gets even bigger, but it's not a nice grin. It's the kind that says, oh, this is gonna be fun. To Spike and his biker buddies, Father Daniel looks like an easy target. He's just an old guy in a boring black robe, right? Weak. Quiet. Someone they can pick on without a fight. That's what they think. They're so sure of it, they start chuckling to themselves, already planning how they'll mess with him. But here's the thing: they're wrong. So wrong. Father Daniel isn't what he seems. Those rough hands. That calm way he moves. There's a reason for it. He's got a past, a big, exciting one that nobody in this town knows about. Not the old ladies he helps. Not the cats he feeds. And definitely not these loud, rude bikers. Spike and his gang think they've found someone to push around. They think Father Daniel will just stand there and take it. But they're about to find out they picked the wrong guy. The worst guy to mess with, actually. Let's paint the scene a little more. The church is small, made of old wood that creaks when the wind blows. It's got a little bell at the top that rings on Sundays. The steps Father Daniel is sweeping are worn out, with cracks where tiny weeds poke through. The broom he's using is old, too. Its bristles are all bent and messy. But he keeps sweeping, back and forth, like nothing in the world bothers him. The sun's almost gone now, and shadows stretch long across the ground. It's peaceful until those bikes roll in. Spike's gang doesn't waste time. They park their motorcycles right in front of the church, blocking the path. Engines growl as they turn them off, and the air smells like gas and dirt. Spike swings his leg off his bike and stands up tall. He's got a chain hanging from his belt that clinks when he walks. His boots are heavy, stomping on the ground like he owns it. The other bikers follow him, laughing and nudging each other. There's a skinny guy with a scar on his cheek, a big guy with a beard, and a couple others who look just as rough. They're a team allowed, mean team, and they're staring at Father Daniel like he's their next bit of fun. Father Daniel doesn't look up right away. He keeps sweeping, the broom making a soft swish, swish sound. The bikers think that means he's scared. They think he's too shy or weak to say anything. Spike steps closer, his shadow falling over Father Daniel. "Hey, old man," he says, his voice loud and rough. "What's with the broom? You gonna clean up after us, too?" The gang laughs, slapping their knees like it's the funniest thing ever. They're so sure they've got him figured out. A quiet priest in a dusty town? Easy pickings. But Father Daniel? He's not shaking. He's not running. He finishes one last sweep, then leans the broom against the church wall real slow. When he finally looks up, his eyes meet Spike's. They're not scared eyes. They're steady. Calm. Maybe even a little dangerous, if you know what to look for. Spike doesn't see it, he's too busy smirking. The bikers don't see it, they're too busy laughing. They have no clue what's coming. No idea who they're really dealing with. So, what's Father Daniel hiding? Why aren't his hands soft like a regular priest's? And what's gonna happen when these bikers push him too far? Stick around, because this story's just getting started. These tough guys think they're in charge, but they're about to get the surprise of their lives. Father Daniel's not just a quiet man with a broom. He's something else, something big. And trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next. The bikers roll their loud motorcycles right up to the little church. Dust flies everywhere as their tires skid to a stop. They're laughing loud, like they think they're the kings of this dusty town. The engines growl and then go quiet, but the bikers don't. They keep yelling and chuckling, acting like the whole place belongs to them. Spike, the leader, jumps off his big black bike. His heavy boots hit the ground with a loud thud, thud. He walks over to Father Daniel like he's the boss of everything. Father Daniel is still sweeping the church steps, moving his broom back and forth. He doesn't even look up yet. "Hey, preacher man!" Spike shouts. His voice is so loud, it bounces off the houses down the street. "This your little dollhouse?" He points at the church and grins, showing his yellow teeth. "Maybe we'll stick around and have some fun." The other bikers cheer and hoot. They sound like a pack of wild dogs. One of them grabs an empty soda can from his pocket and tosses it at the steps. It clangs and rolls down, right near Father Daniel's feet. Another biker throws one too. Soon, there are cans all over the place, making a mess. But Father Daniel? He doesn't jump or yell. He just keeps sweeping, nice and slow. His eyes stay calm, super calm, but if you look real close, they're sharp, like a big storm hiding behind clouds. The bikers think this is hilarious. They see Father Daniel in his black robe, sweeping away, and they think he's nothing. Just a quiet old guy who won't fight back. One of them, a skinny guy with an ugly scar on his cheek, steps forward. "Move it, old man," he yells, his voice scratchy and mean. He walks right up to Father Daniel and shoves him hard with his shoulder. The broom flies out of Father Daniel's hands and lands on the ground with a little thump. The gang laughs even louder now. They're slapping each other's backs, pointing at the broom like it's the funniest thing they've ever seen. Spike steps closer. He's so close now that Father Daniel can smell his stinky breath. It smells like old beer and something sour. Spike leans down, his face just inches away, and says, "What's wrong, priest? Too scared to talk?" His grin is big and nasty. The other bikers laugh again, waiting for Father Daniel to cry or run away. They're sure he's weak. They're sure he's afraid. But Father Daniel doesn't say a word. He bends down, real slow, and picks up his broom. He holds it in his hands like it's no big deal. The bikers keep laughing, but if you were watching super close, you'd see something. His fingers wrap around that broom a little tighter than before. Just a little. It's a tiny clue, but it means something big. Here's the secret these bikers don't know: they're messing with the wrong guy. They think Father Daniel is like a scared little mouse. They think he's weak because he's quiet and doesn't shout back. But he's not a mouse. He's more like a lion, a big, strong lion that's just sitting there, waiting. His quiet isn't because he's scared. It's because he's smart. He's watching them, figuring them out. The bikers don't see it. They're too busy being loud and rude. They're about to learn a lesson they won't forget. Spike stands up straight again, puffing out his chest. He's tall and wide, with muscles bulging under his leather jacket. He looks at his gang and nods, like he's telling them, watch this. Then he kicks one of the soda cans on the ground. It flies up and smacks the church wall with a bang. Oops, he says, pretending it was an accident. The bikers crack up, holding their stomachs like it's a big joke. The skinny guy with the scar picks up another can and chucks it. This one hits the steps again, rolling right past Father Daniel's feet. They're trying to make him mad. They want him to yell or do something so they can laugh even more. But Father Daniel doesn't give them what they want. He starts sweeping again, like the cans and the shouting don't bother him at all. Swish, swish goes the broom. The sound is soft, but it's steady. The bikers don't like that. They want him to be scared. They want him to shake or run inside the church. Spike squints his eyes, staring at Father Daniel. What's with this guy, he mutters to the skinny biker. He's too quiet. It's weird. The skinny guy shrugs and says, maybe he's just dumb. They laugh again, but it's not as loud this time. Something feels off to them, even if they don't say it out loud. The sun's almost gone now. The sky is turning dark, and the air feels cooler. Shadows stretch across the ground, making everything look a little spooky. The church looks small and old next to these big, loud bikers. Its wooden walls are faded, and the little bell at the top sways just a tiny bit in the breeze. Father Daniel keeps sweeping, his black robe moving a little as he works. He looks small, too smaller than Spike and his gang. But looks can trick you. And these bikers? They're falling for the trick. Spike decides to push harder. He steps right onto the church steps, his boots leaving dirty marks. Hey, preacher, he yells again. You gonna let us walk all over you? Huh. He stomps his foot, making a loud thump. The other bikers cheer him on. Yeah, Spike. Show him, they shout. The skinny guy with the scar spits on the ground, right near Father Daniel's broom. Move, old man, he says again, his voice sharp like a knife. They're testing him. They want to see how far they can go before he breaks. Father Daniel stops sweeping for just a second. He looks up at Spike, then at the skinny guy. His face doesn't change, no frown, no smile. His eyes are still calm, but that sharpness is there. It's like he's saying something without words. The bikers don't notice it, though. They're too busy being loud. Spike leans down again, so close his nose almost touches Father Daniel's. Say something, priest, he growls. Or are you too chicken? His breath is hot and gross. The gang waits, ready to laugh. But Father Daniel just steps back. He picks up his broom again and starts sweeping. Swish, swish. He doesn't say a word. The bikers blink, confused. Why isn't he mad? Why isn't he scared? Spike stands up, scratching his head. This guy's nuts, he says to his gang. They nod, but they're not laughing as much now. Something about Father Daniel is starting to bug them. He's too calm. Too quiet. It's creepy. And that's the thing, they don't get it yet. They think they're the strong ones because they're big and loud. They think Father Daniel is nothing because he's small and silent. But they're wrong. They're poking a lion, and they don't even know it. That tight grip on the broom. Those sharp eyes. They're hints, little signs of what's coming. The bikers are about to learn a big, hard lesson. And it's not going to be pretty. Days pass by, and those bikers. They don't go away. They stick around like gum on your shoe. Every day, they park their noisy motorcycles right outside Father Daniel's little church. The engines growl and rumble, making a big racket. On Sunday mornings, when people come to pray and sing, the bikers make it even worse. They rev their bikes super loud, vroom, vroom, just to annoy Father Daniel. The sound shakes the windows and makes the old church bell jingle a little. It's their way of saying, hey, we're here, and we're gonna mess with you. The people in town don't like it one bit. Then, the bikers get messy. They grab cans of red spray paint and start scribbling on the church walls. Ugly words, mean, rude stuff show up in big, sloppy letters. The pretty white wood turns into a mess of red scribbles. People walking by see it and whisper to each other. Why doesn't Father Daniel do something, they ask. Why doesn't he yell at them or call for help? They shake their heads, confused. But Father Daniel? He doesn't get mad. He doesn't shout. He just grabs a bucket of soapy water and a rag. Then he scrubs the paint off, bit by bit. He hums a little song while he works, like it's no big deal. He's so patient. Maybe too patient. Or maybe he's got a plan. What do you think? The townsfolk watch him clean and wonder. Is he scared? Is he weak? They don't know. But Father Daniel keeps going, day after day. He sweeps the steps. He feeds the cats. He smiles at the old ladies. And he cleans up whatever mess the bikers leave behind. His hands move slow and steady, but they're strong hands, rough and tough. The bikers see him working and laugh. They think he's just a quiet old man who won't fight back. They think they've won already. But they're missing something. Something big. Then, one night, things get wild. The sky is dark, and the stars are out. The town is quiet, too quiet. That's when Spike and his biker crew decide to be extra bold. They don't just stay outside this time. Nope. They push open the church doors and stomp right inside. Their big boots track mud all over the clean floor. Squelch, squish, the mud sticks to the wood, leaving dirty smears. Spike leads the way, his leather jacket creaking as he walks. He's got a mean look on his face, and his hands are balled into fists. He cracks his knuckles, pop, pop, like he's ready to break something. Time to pay up, preacher. Spike snarls. His voice is loud and growly, like a mad dog. This town's ours now. You're gonna give us something nice for all our trouble. He looks around the church, smirking. The other bikers spread out behind him. There's the skinny guy with the scar, the big guy with the beard, and a couple more, all tough and tall. They tower over Father Daniel, who's standing there in the middle of the room. He's got his hands folded in front of him, just watching. He looks small next to these giants. His black robe hangs loose, and his gray hair shines a little under the church lights. To the bikers, he's nothing. Just a little old priest they can boss around. But then something changes. It's tiny at first, so small you might miss it. Father Daniel tilts his head, just a little bit. His eyes lock onto Spike's. And for the first time, Spike notices something weird. Those eyes. They're not scared. They're not shaky or soft. They're steady. Cold. Hard. Like the eyes of someone who's ready for a fight. Not a scared priest, but a fighter, like he's measuring Spike up, figuring out where to hit first. Spike blinks, confused, but he shakes it off. He's too busy being loud to think about it. Leave, Father Daniel says. His voice is low, not loud like Spike's. But it's firm like a rock that won't budge. The word hangs in the air, strong and clear. The bikers freeze for a second. Then they burst out laughing. Big, ugly laughs that echo off the church walls. Leave. Spike says, his voice all high and mocking. Or what, preacher man? He steps closer, his boots thudding on the muddy floor. His grin is wide and nasty, showing those yellow teeth again. The other bikers laugh too, slapping their knees. What's he gonna do? The skinny guy with the scar says. Pray us away. They think it's a joke. They think Father Daniel's nothing. Father Daniel doesn't laugh. He doesn't smile. He doesn't even move. He just stands there, hands still folded, watching them. His eyes don't blink. They stay locked on Spike, steady and cold. The bikers keep chuckling, but it's getting quieter now. Something feels funny to them. Why isn't he scared? Why isn't he running? Spike leans in, his face close to Father Daniel's. You got nothing to say, huh? He sneers. Too chicken to fight. He puffs out his chest, trying to look big and tough. The gang nods, egging him on. They're sure they've got him cornered. But Father Daniel? He's not cornered. He's not shaking. He's waiting. And that's when Spike loses it. He's tired of the quiet. Tired of the staring. He wants a reaction. So he swings his fist fast and hard right at Father Daniel's face. The punch cuts through the air, aimed straight for the priest's nose. The bikers cheer, thinking this is it. They think Spike's gonna knock him out cold. They think Father Daniel's done for. What happens next? Oh, you're gonna love this. Father Daniel isn't what they think. Those steady eyes, that firm voice, those rough hands, they're clues. Little hints about who he really is. The bikers don't see it yet, but they're about to. Spike's fist is flying, and the room goes quiet for a split second. Everyone's watching. Everyone's waiting. Is Father Daniel gonna fall? Is he gonna cry? Nope. Something else is coming, something big. And it's gonna turn this whole night upside down. See, Father Daniel's been patient for a reason. He's been quiet for a reason. All those days of cleaning up paint and listening to roaring bikes? They didn't scare him. They didn't break him. They just made him watch. And now, with Spike's fist coming at him, he's done watching. The bikers think they're poking a weak old man. But they're wrong. They're poking something way stronger, something they never saw coming. Stick around, because this is where the real fun starts. Here it comes, the big moment. Spike's fist is zooming through the air, fast and mean, heading straight for Father Daniel's face. The bikers are grinning, thinking this is it. They're sure Spike's gonna smash the quiet priest and win the night. But guess what? That fist never gets there. Father Daniel moves super quick, like lightning flashing across the sky. Before anyone can even blink, he grabs Spike's arm right in the middle of the swing. His hand locks tight around Spike's wrist, stopping the punch cold. Spike freezes. His eyes get huge, like saucers, because he didn't expect this. Not at all. The church goes quiet for a second. You can hear the bikers breathing, all surprised and shaking. Then whoosh, Father Daniel twists Spike's wrist hard. He flips Spike over like he's a pancake on a pan. Spike goes flying, his big body spinning in the air. Thud. He crashes onto the church floor, so loud it bounces off the walls. Dust puffs up around him, and the wooden boards shake a little. The other bikers stumble back, their boots tripping over each other. What the? Yells the skinny guy with the scar on his cheek. Let's call him Scarface. His mouth hangs open, but he doesn't get to finish because Father Daniel steps forward. And oh boy, he's different now. The quiet priest is gone. Poof. Like magic, he's turned into something else, something wild and strong. His feet plant solid on the floor, like tree roots that won't budge. His fists come up, ready to swing. Every move he makes looks tough and powerful, like he's done this a million times before. The bikers stare, their jaws dropping. I said leave, Father Daniel growls. His voice isn't loud, but it's deep and scary, like a lion telling you to get out of his cave. This isn't a pretty please anymore. It's an order. Spike's on the ground, holding his arm and groaning. His face is all twisted up in pain, but he's not smart enough to stay down. Nope. He scrambles to his feet, dirt smudged on his leather jacket. His eyes are wild, and he's mad, super mad. You're gonna pay for that, old man, he yells, his voice scratchy and loud. He charges at Father Daniel again, like a bull running at a red flag. Big mistake. Huge mistake. Father Daniel doesn't even flinch. He ducks down quick, spins around like a top, and then boom, he swings his fist up. It's an uppercut, a perfect punch right to Spike's chin. Spike's head snaps back, and his whole body flies. Crash. He smashes into a church pew, the wooden bench cracking under his weight. He slumps there, eyes rolling, out cold. The other bikers gasp again. They can't believe it. Scarface takes a step back, his boots squeaking on the muddy floor. The big guy with the beard drops the soda can he was holding, it clatters and rolls away. They're scared now. Really scared. Because Father Daniel isn't just standing there anymore. He's moving toward them, slow and steady, like a tiger ready to pounce. His fists are still up, and his eyes are locked on them, cold and sharp. Anyone else, he says, his voice low but strong. The bikers shake their heads fast, like kids caught stealing cookies. They don't want any part of this. And here's the big surprise, the truth that hits like a giant train roaring down the tracks. Father Daniel isn't just a priest. Nope. He's way more than that. He's a former MMA fighter, a champion. That's right, years ago, he was in a ring, fighting tough guys and winning big trophies. Those rough hands. They punched out men twice as big as Spike, huge guys with muscles like mountains. That calm stare? It's the look of someone who stared down danger and laughed at it. He's not scared because he's done this before. He walked away from fighting a long time ago, traded his gloves for a priest's robe. But the fighter inside him, it never went away. It's still there, hiding under that quiet smile. The bikers don't know this yet, but they're figuring it out fast. Scarface points at Father Daniel, his finger shaking. Who are you?" he stammers. Father Daniel doesn't answer with words. He just takes another step, his boots quiet on the floor. His fists stay up, ready for more. The big bearded guy whispers to Scarface, "He's not normal, man. He's crazy." They're right, he's not normal. He's a champ. A hero from a world they don't understand. And right now, he's showing them who's boss. Spike's still slumped in the broken pew, moaning a little. His tough guy act is gone. The other bikers look at him, then back at Father Daniel. They're starting to see it now, those clues they missed. His hands aren't rough from sweeping. They're rough from fighting. His calm isn't weakness. It's strength. He's been waiting, watching, letting them think they're in charge. But they're not. Not even close. Father Daniel stands tall now. His black robe looks different, like a superhero cape. The church lights shine on him, making him look bigger, stronger. The bikers huddle together, their leather jackets creaking as they move. They're not laughing anymore. No hoots, no hollers. Just wide eyes and fast breathing. "Let's get out of here," Scarface mutters, tugging at the bearded guy's arm. They don't want to fight anymore. They want to run. But Father Daniel's not done showing them. He takes one more step, and the bikers flinch. "Go," he says, pointing at the door. His voice is like thunder now, quiet thunder, but you feel it in your bones. The truth is out. He's not just a priest who cleans up messes. He's a fighter who wins battles. Those rough hands have stories of knockouts and victories. That calm stare has seen blood and sweat and cheering crowds. The bikers picked the wrong guy to mess with, and now they know it. Spike groans again, trying to sit up. His face is red and puffy where Father Daniel hit him. He looks at the priest, then drops his head. He's done. The gang's done. They thought they were tough, but they're nothing next to Father Daniel. The big reveal is here, and it's awesome. The quiet man they laughed at? He's a champion. A real-life tough guy who's been hiding in plain sight. And this fight? It's just the start of them learning that lesson. The bikers are in big trouble now. They don't have a chance against Father Daniel. He's too fast, too strong. One by one, he takes them down, and it's over quick. First, Scarface, the skinny guy with the scar, tries something dumb. He swings a big metal chain at Father Daniel, thinking he'll hit him hard. But Father Daniel's faster. He grabs the chain in mid-air, yanks it right out of Scarface's hands, and then bam, kicks him square in the chest. Scarface flies back and lands on the floor with a loud thump, groaning and holding his ribs. Next, another biker rushes in. This guy's got a knife, and it makes a little snick sound as he pulls it out. He's grinning, thinking he's tough. But Father Daniel doesn't even blink. He steps to the side, quick as a cat, and grabs the guy's arm. With one fast twist, he flips him over, whoosh, and the biker crashes onto his back like a sack of potatoes. He's down, moaning, and the knife clatters away. In just a few minutes, all the bikers are on the ground, hurting and whining. Father Daniel stands over them, tall and strong. He's not even breathing hard. It's like he just took a little walk, not a big fight. "Get out of my church," he says. His voice is steady, strong like steel, and it fills the room. Spike, the leader, is a mess. His face is bruised, his eyes are foggy, and he's wobbly as he tries to stand up. You're crazy, man," he sputters, spitting out the words. But he's not fighting anymore. He's scared. He stumbles backward, almost tripping over his own feet. The other bikers grab their jackets and hats, whatever they dropped, and limp to the door. They look like dogs with their tails tucked, running away from a bigger dog. They're done. By the next morning, the bikers are gone. Their loud motorcycles? Nowhere to be seen. The town is quiet again, and people start talking. Word spreads fast, don't mess with Father Daniel. Everyone hears about the fight, how he beat up the tough guys like it was nothing. They can't believe it, but they saw the bikers leave, all beat up and scared. People gather outside the church later that day. They stand there, staring at Father Daniel with big, wide eyes. He's back to his old self, or so it seems. He's got his broom in his hands, sweeping the steps like always. He smiles at them, soft and kind, like nothing happened. But they don't whisper anymore. They don't wonder why he's so quiet. Now, they look at him with respect. Big respect. He's still their priest, the guy who helps old ladies and feeds cats. But he's more than that now. He's their protector, too, the one who keeps them safe from bad guys like Spike and his gang. The church looks the same, but the town feels different. Father Daniel showed everyone he's strong, not weak. The bikers learned their lesson, and they won't be back. Justice is done, and it feels good. And that's the end of our story. Wow, what a wild ride, right? Father Daniel started as a quiet man, just sweeping his church steps and smiling at everyone. Nobody thought he was special, not the townsfolk, and definitely not those mean bikers. They saw his black robe and his silence and thought, oh, he's weak. He's nothing. But they were so wrong. Underneath that calm face was a fighter, a super strong guy with a big past. He showed them all that strength doesn't have to be loud or showy. Sometimes, the strongest people are the ones who don't yell or brag. They just wait, steady and sure, until it's time to stand up. Think about those bikers for a second. They judged Father Daniel fast. They looked at his broom and his gray hair and laughed. They didn't see the tough hands or the sharp eyes. They didn't know he used to be an MMA champion, knocking out big guys in a ring. They missed all the clues because they only cared about what they could see right away. And boy, did they pay for that mistake. Father Daniel flipped them, punched them, and sent them running. It was like a big lesson: don't judge people too quick. You never know who they really are inside. So, here's something fun to think about: who's the strongest person you know? Take a minute. Picture them. Are they loud and big, always talking about how great they are? Or are they quiet, like Father Daniel? Maybe it's someone who doesn't show off. Maybe it's a friend who helps you when you're sad, or a teacher who stays calm even when everyone's noisy. Maybe it's your mom or dad, working hard without making a fuss. The strongest people don't always shout. Sometimes, they're the ones who stay cool and wait until it's time to be brave. Father Daniel's story makes you wonder. He didn't need to prove anything to anyone until he had to. He was happy just being a priest, helping his town. But when those bikers pushed too far, he showed them what he could do. It's kind of inspiring, isn't it? You don't have to be loud to be tough. You don't have to fight every day to be strong. You can be quiet and kind, and still have power inside you, ready when you need it. That's a cool way to live, being yourself, but knowing you've got something big if trouble comes. Hey, if you liked this story, stick around for more. Hit that like button, it's that little thumbs up down there. It tells me you had fun. And drop a comment below: what would you do if you were Father Daniel? Would you stay quiet like him, or would you scare those bikers off right away? I'd love to hear your ideas. Oh, and don't forget to tell me where you're watching from today. Maybe you're at home, or maybe you're somewhere cool. Let's chat about it. See you next time for another awesome story. Father Daniel's tale leaves you with a big thought: strength hides in funny places. It's not always in the loudest voice or the biggest muscles. Sometimes, it's in the quiet heart, waiting to surprise you. So, look around. Who's your hidden hero? You might be surprised who's stronger than they seem.